today I have a 93 Ford Ranger. Basically, customer complaint, alternator not charging, and so forth. So, alright, so we replaced the alternator. Alternator was bad. It had a few issues going on, actually. So, alternator was bad. One of the wires was pretty bad. So, you need to check out your yellow. So, to the connector, I'm just trying to make this more simple. So right here, you need to check out this connector. That's right here. This is connector C113. This goes to the alternator, this green red, and then the white or yellow white. So these two go to the alternator. Now this wire, this yellow wire, is actually what powers up this fuse. So if this fuse is the fuse is what powers up that wire powers up that fuse, and then from there on, the fuse powers up the other stuff after it's running. So what you need to check out, make sure that the fuse is not popped, and if it is popped, go ahead and replace it. And this wasn't popped, it's just I had a bad connection right here. Alright, so after I got that replaced, I'm like, oh cool, I'm all said and done. Well, guess what? I wasn't. So now I had to keep testing and check out stuff. So what you got to do is, in my case, my alternator light wasn't on. And so basically I popped off this connector, and then where the green red is, I tested that little connector. So I used my digital multimeter. I put it at 20 volts. I put one to like the casing of the alternator, and then I put the other one to the green red. And when you put the key on the on position, you should read whatever the battery voltage is. So if it's 12 volts, that's what you should be reading right there as soon as you put the key on the on position, because that's what powers that unit, and then from there you're good. So I mean, obviously you're gonna have your alternator that's always gonna be staying hot, but that ignition wire, well, that goes to the ignition. When you put the key on the on position or run position, that powers up the whole alternator, and then that powers up the little regulator in there. Now, let's say if you're not getting voltage, well, you need to come all the way over here, and you need to check out this. So right here, we had a few issues. So this guy right here, this ignition switch, it popped right off. It was like barely hanging on where you can just start the car and drive it. Well, my customer was driving all day that day, and so forth. So basically what I did was I zip tied it, and then now I was able to, don't worry about this stuff. This stuff's like kind of janky. So now when we put the key on the on position, we get our charge light. This one is going to be your alternator light, because I mean, this thing was like this and I couldn't see anything of what was going on, so I was able to pop it off. As you can see, we got the left turn signal, the check engine, and the check oil, and then the alternator. So we'll go ahead and put that right back in there and stuff. So yeah, the thing was all like spray painted, so I couldn't even see which one was what. But yeah, I mean, just so you know, so after you get that all fixed, I mean, that's what your alternator should be reading. But let's say if you weren't getting a power to this, if this wasn't illuminating, you need to check. It's going to be your gray, let me see, I have the diagram right here. So it's going to be your gray yellow wire. So again, when we put the car in the on position, you need to see, it's going to be, there's two gray yellows, but it's the one that goes, it's yellow A2, so you need to see from right there. Now that one goes to the cluster, and then it sends a signal of how much voltage obviously is going through. Well, it's going to power up this, and then from there, light green, red, that's the one that's going to connect to the alternator itself. Then obviously, you know, or I'm sorry, the battery or the starter relay is what powers up the alternator too, so that's where the power is. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I was kind of a little bit more detailed on this. If you guys have any questions on this, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.